What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Void of Dusk, and today I'm going to bring you some solo queue action, and I am playing the Thane in a ranked game. Today we are going to discuss more sorts of gameplay. I'm not going to talk too much about the build or the arcana I'm using, but I want just you to get a little bit ahead of how aggressive gameplay with Thane and how positioning and being up in their faces really benefits the game. And you will see that especially in the first minutes of the game, how this is really beneficial. This is something that is special about Thane as a character. He is sort of special because Thane is like a real tank, which basically means you have tanks like Arthur, you have tanks like Aram, and these are quite tanky characters, but they are also able to dish out a lot of damage. So you can stand against an enemy and even duel them. Thane is different in the perspective that Thane really needs an ADC support or some other source of damage to really make plays in the game. And that is just because Thane is so much dependent on damage not coming from him, because his abilities and his usual build are just not made for dishing out massive amounts or like insane amounts of damage. This is just not how Thane works, because as soon as you start to build Thane, damage terms like he is not that good anymore. So let's take a look at the action that I'm doing at the moment. I am going behind Talanas, and this is where Thane really shines. Like, he's able to harass enemies with his one. His one is an ability that shoves enemies going a pretty long distance. That's his shield dash, and he is able to kind of push enemies away in the direction that he kind of goes. And this is what I'm doing at the moment. Like, I'm pushing Talanas away from the tower, and I'm following up with my 2, which is a nice stun and slow. And as you can see, this is really, really good for picking up a kill. And that's what we are doing at this point of the game. I have the Valheim, who is able to do more damage than I can. He's got the range, and we are able to just get Talanas that far away from the tower that she isn't able to get away fast enough to not being killed. And this is what Thane is really good at, like zoning enemies out, using his dash to put them in positions where they are vulnerable. As you can see here, I am able to get those 2 guys. The Zuka follows up. Unfortunately, the Zephyrus is able to get away, but because my cooldown is not that fast, I'm able to get the Grug here, and my team finishes him up quite nicely. Zuka gets another kill, which puts us in the lead. We are on a 2-1 here. And this is just because I'm that aggressive on the Thane. Like, look at that. I am pushing Richter away from the tower, so we can do damage to the tower, and Richter is not able to retaliate. And as soon as my 1 is up again, I'm pushing Richter away from the tower, giving me the kill. Like, that could have been the Zuka as well, to get Zuka even more fed, because that's what you want to do. You want to feed the characters that do the damage, because you are supposed to soak up damage, you're supposed to zone enemies out. And here's another example of me getting Grug away from the tower. Unfortunately, my guys are not able to be fast enough here, but it's just that's how a good Thane works. Unfortunately, this game will be pretty terrible, because as you can see, our Wukong, our jungler, has disconnected. I don't know what the reason for this is. He is playing like a few minutes of the game in the beginning, but then he kind of disconnects. Maybe has a unstable connection or whatever. But this is quite unfortunate, because the game has asked me what to do. So of course I am telling the bot, the AI, to follow me, because everything is better than having the bot being at the like at this kind of respawn point, because the problem with that is you don't know when the character is going to come back. Like I have seen matches where we have 5 minutes into the game and the character comes back. Yeah, here Batman completely underestimates that I'm capable of doing damage as soon as my ult is up. Like that's your main source of damage, the ult. All your other abilities are there for crowd control, they are there for shoving enemies around, and your ult is pretty strong. Usually you're about to take, I would say, like a fourth of the enemy hit points if going against a non-tanky enemy. And I'm just pushing enemies around, trying to get the damage dealers away from my team so that the damage dealers from my team are able to do them damage. And this is another nice example. Like unfortunately the Batman is coming in here and the Richter is able to get out, but if we would have had a normal Wukong, that would have been another kill for my team. And this is where the Valheim is able to get the kill for the Batman. So we were doing pretty well here. Unfortunately, as I said, the Wukong skipped the game, he disconnected, and with that our main source of damage, the jungler, is missing, because the jungler is pretty important, especially in the beginning of the game. He's supposed to give you numbers in situations where you don't have numbers. And this is not working because, as you can see, I'm already level 7. The Wukong is sitting on level 5, which is pretty bad for the jungler. Like he should be basically on level 8 or even level 9 at this point of the game. So this is really something that puts us behind, and it will cost us the game. I can already tell that without telling you too much. Like it's just about the gameplay. And after we have been able to kind of withstand them, and here I'm just doing that all the time. Like I'm always trying to get enemies basically in a direction which is not only the opposite but kind of like in a diagonal. That's always the best that you can have, because with that you're pushing them so far away that they have to turn back to the lane again and then go back to that tower. This is like the best situation that you can achieve with Thane. But as I said, because the Wukong has been quitting the game so early, and here unfortunately I'm not able to save the Valheim. The Azankar goes in, he just dives too deep. We are glad that Richter is not able to finish him off, but the Grog can. No, he's able to get away. But we are just playing a downhill battle because they have a normal jungler with the Zephyrs. He's able to get all the creeps, so he can not only farm in his jungle, but also in our jungle as well. So the other team is really starting to get back into the game at this point. Like we should have capitalized on the kills that we have done. We should have get towers, but as we are playing 4 versus 5, this is not happening, unfortunately. That's like really bad, because so far, like as you have seen at the beginning of the game, we were doing really well. So yeah, that's me whining around here, but we cannot really change it, and that forces us to make really bad decisions. I'm able to get the Talanas here, and as you can see, the Zephyrs is not doing that much damage to me. Like I'm able to hold the position, but then it's just that we are playing 4 versus 5 with a really aggressive Wukong, and that is going to feed the enemy. And throughout the game, I'm just learning how to control the bot, like the AFK player, and that takes a while. But you realize that as soon as you turn back and the bot is a certain distance away, he will return to you and come with you. So that's something that you can do to kind of control him. But of course, it's not a real player. So even a player making bad decisions would be not as worse as this. Here I'm landing my ult. I'm doing quite some damage. I'm healing us up here, but then the Grog has just put us in here. My control effect is not coming down, and then I don't stand any chance against 4 enemies. Like this is not going to happen. Even me building full tank, I I cannot hold that much damage. Of course, I'm going to die here. So as you can see, they already turned a game that would be going normal or okayish into a 12-17. And it's just a matter of time when they are going to get the Darkslayer or the Abyssal Dragon at first to get the gold lead, which they will have already, and we are not able to do anything against it. So this is basically a lost game at this point. Sad enough, that is that, but I just hope that you have a good impression, or that you were able to get a nice impression on how to deal with Thane. And as you can see, like, the health pool and the passive, like on his passive you do get damage, you get health back. It's really nice. Like, you are able to just stay there and to soak up the damage, and that's what Thane is really good for. Like, even here we are able to get that enemy. I'm able to just get that Batman away from my team, but unfortunately they are all too low, so we're not able to get him. But then I even killed him. Like, we are still doing quite well, even being only 4 real players in that game, and I can tell that my team wasn't being that good at this point of the game. You will see that in the end at the result page that we had better and we had worse players. But even though we were able to kind of get a hang on that, and yeah, here you see the Zill, like level 14. Yeah, what I'm going to do against that. And then because I pushed the Zephyrs away from the Azenkar because I thought he's just going to kill him, unfortunately the spell didn't hit. So yeah, basically this is it. Like, there's not much that we can do against that. I would go for pushing top now, and that's what I tell Azen. But at 16 to 25, Darkslayer up, Abyssal Dragon up. Yeah, here's some kind of nice move here, but then I'm going in. There's no one to follow up behind. My ult doesn't come up, like, that's unfortunate as well. And they are focusing on the tank, which is bad then. As you can see, the Azen is doing quite some damage. Like, it's not even that bad, but the Wukong is just getting farmed away. And then the Valheim doesn't stand a chance because they have just been too deep into our base here. Yeah. That's that. There's nothing more that I can tell you about this. It's just like, Thane is a really good character. Like, even in higher ranked games, like, I'm playing him in gold at the moment. But you really need to have a team focusing around Thane's abilities. Because if you have enemies that do in a deep dive, it's just that you will not be able to really... Yeah, and this is like, Richter is able to get away here, but I just forced him to move away because he is so low that he is not able to do anything against me. Like, I would have been able to kill him, even being a tank. So this is how strong Thane is, because he is, in Germany you would say the Fels in der Brandung. That's like the rock in the sea. So like, you're always withholding. There's nothing that the sea can do against you, but this is just a bad comparison. Yeah, and this doesn't make that much sense. Like, I just realized that. Yeah, pushing the ADC away, but here again, against 3 enemies and a fat Zephyrs. Like, oh no, it's Zill. Oh, this is Zill. I always said Zephyrs. Like, I mean Zill. Zephyrs is the other guy. I would think Zephyrs would work better on Zill, because he's doing Sapphire stuff. Not Sapphire as in terms of the diamond, but in terms of this kind of air thing. Sapphire? Yeah, never mind. Like, here we go. Darkslayer. And let me check how long this video is going. Yeah, we've got another 3 minutes, so guys, bear with me. This is just us trying to not cancel the game now that the Great Drake has been summoned. Ulting in here, Zephyrus is able to get out using his 2. That is the problem. He is just so mobile that we cannot get a grasp of him. Now he's able to get into the fray again, damaging us. I'm pushing them around, but I'm pushing them too far away from our base, so our guys are not able to damage it. But look how long I am able to withstand their attacks. And I was even able to basically get out. Like, that was so close. With a little bit more HP, I would have been able to get out even after scoring a kill and being that much into the fight as I have been. So I'm quite sad. Like, this is a really sad game. It could have been so good, and now they're just mopping the floor with us. And they could just do the damage, and that's what they're doing here. GG, it doesn't arrive, but yeah, this is the game, and that's unfortunate because we were doing quite good, and then afterwards we didn't do that good. So this was my lesson on Thane. I hope you had a pretty good impression. Like, I think I managed to do some nice plays with him, just pushing enemies around. Like, not they were not 100% perfect, but I think it's just a good example of how you can use Thane in the way of the game is supposed to use him. So you can basically just be the tank and drag enemies around. I know that Thane is supposed to be one of the newbie characters because you get him quite early, but then I think it's quite difficult to position him correctly. That's just something that you have to practice a lot, and I have practiced him on the Switch. I didn't play that many games on mobile, and here you can see like 29%, and I'm the main damage dealer of my team, and this is not something that you are supposed to do. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That was just a short introduction of the Thane. I'm trying to get another really good game on him where I'm able to be the support that I'm supposed to be, not the main damage dealer. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good time. Feel free to subscribe and leave a like. This was What If Dusk Gaming, and I am out. I'm out now.